Good morning, everyone. I hope my audio and video is clear. Please let me know in the comment section if everything is clear so that we can have the class in a smooth and continuous manner. A very good morning to all of you watching this video and those who are preparing for your IFSCA Phase 2 examination. मुझे तो सबसे पहले आप comment section में ये बताएं that how is your preparation going on? Are you feeling confident? कैसा लग रहा है आपको? कैसी है आपकी तैयारी? आप मुझे comment section में लिखकर ज़रूर बताएं that how are you feeling right now. ठीक है, just one more day left for your exam, right? You have your exam on Saturday, है ना? So that is why we brought in a marathon session wherein we are going to revise through MCQs. So mix of MCQs we are going to do. ठीक है? Audio is feeble. Okay. I will just check. Wait. Is the audio okay now, John? Please let me know. Is audio fine? Good morning, John. Is the audio okay now? Chalo then, let's begin with our session. Let's do these MCQs. है ना? Quickly we are going to cover because this is a marathon session. So we have to cover a lot of questions today. Around 100 questions we are going to cover. So we are going to keep it quick. Okay? Okay. Before I begin, if you want to download this YouTube class PDF, you can do it from the Oliveboard app. Just go to the courses section. There's going to be a separate YouTube class PDFs folder. You can download the PDF from here. Okay? Chalo. First question. The government has committed to implementing transformative reforms across 6 domains to augment growth potential and global competitiveness. Which of the following is not listed among the 6 transformative reform domains? We're talking about the 6 transformative reform domains over here, which is not listed. Power sector, financial sector, regulatory reforms, telecommunication or taxation? What is the answer? Raju has given me D as the answer. What about others? John, beyond banking. John is also saying D, which is absolutely correct. The 6 domains are taxation, power sector, urban development, mining, financial sector and regulatory reforms. Telecommunication are not part of this. Okay, telecommunication is not part of this 6 domains list, right? A regulated entity completes the know your customer process for a new client on a Tuesday. By which date must the regulated entity upload the KYC information onto the system of the KRA? Immediately upon completion, within 7 calendar days, within 3 working days, within 15 days, by the end of the next financial quarter? What is the answer? And I want everybody to give me quick answers and also write the number of the question that you are trying to answer, okay? So that there's no confusion later on. Okay? Hanji Raju, John, quickly give me the answer. By which date must the regulated entity upload the KYC information? Raju is saying immediately upon completion. John is saying within 3 working days. The answer is C, within 3 working days. Absolutely correct, John. Raju, A nahi hai, not immediately, but within 3 working days. Immediately to is very difficult, hai na? Which institution is the nodal agency for implementation of certain MSME related schemes of the Government of India? SEBI and RBI, NABARD, SIDBI or none of the above? Very easy question this is, है ना? Which institution is nodal agency for implementation of MSME related schemes? Micro, small, medium enterprise related schemes. Raju is saying D. Sean is also saying D. SIDBI is absolutely correct. है ना? Small Industries Development Bank of India. What is the minimum experience requirement specified for a compliance officer in the financial services market under the regulation? At least 2 years, at least 5 years, at least 10 years, at least 15 years. No minimum experience is specified if they hold a professional qualification. We have also done this in our classes, hai na, John? You have attended the classes. We've done this in your IFSCA news and updates, this exact question. Hai na? So what is the answer? Minimum experience requirement specified for a compliance officer in the financial services market under the regulations. We've done these financial sector regulations, hai na? Raju has given me B as the answer, at least 5 years. John, what do you say? What is the answer? John is saying B 5 years. The answer is absolutely correct. At least 5 years in the financial services market, right? Which of the following is not one of the advantages of the ratio analysis? To know the areas of the business which need more attention, to know about the potential areas which can be improved, to provide a deeper analysis of profitability, to provide information for making cross-sectional analysis, or none of the above. Out of these, what is the correct answer? Fifth question. Anji, advantages of ratio analysis. What is the answer? Fifth question out of these. John is saying E. Anybody else? Raju, what about you? Correct answer is E. Very good, John. None of the above. Okay? So ratio analysis provides a lot of information which helps to analyze to know the areas of business which need more attention, know about the potential areas which can be improved with the effort in the desired direction, provide a deeper analysis of profitability, liquidity, solvency, efficiency, to provide information for making cross-sectional analysis, provide information derived from financial statements useful for making projections and estimates. Okay? Right. According to data released by RBI in its monthly bulletin, outward remittances under the scheme stood at $3.21 billion in August 2024. 2025 होना चाहिए था. Which liberalized remittance scheme heads recorded a year-on-year increase in August 2025. Purchase of immovable property, investment in equity or debt market. A or B? A only, B and A, both B and A, neither A nor B, A, B and deposits. What is the answer? Which liberalized remittance scheme heads recorded a year-on-year increase in August 2025? John is saying B only, but the answer is C, both A and B. Okay? It's both purchase of immovable property also and investment equity or debt market also. Okay? Seventh question. The government earns revenue from the sale of spectrum rights and receives a surplus transfer from RBI. The government also recovers a large loan previously extended to a public sector undertaking. How would these three receipts be classified in the budget documentation respectively? Non-tax revenue, tax revenue, revenue receipts. Capital receipts, non-tax revenue, capital receipts, non-debt. Non-tax revenue, capital receipts, non-debt. Capital receipts, debt, non-tax revenue, revenue receipts, non-tax revenue, capital receipts, non-tax revenue. They have repeated, over here also it is repeated. And here also. So what is your answer based on this? Seventh question. Seventh question, what is the answer? Raju says D. The correct answer is C. Okay. Ab C mein they have written receipts that neither create a liability nor reduce assets are revenue receipts. Dividend surplus of RBI is specifically listed on as non-tax revenue. Sale of spectrum rights, while not explicitly named, is generally treated as non-tax revenue. Recoveries of loan. Basically, this question, if you talk about in this C and E option, not actually correct. So we can just leave this question. Okay. There's a misprint over here. So let's leave this. Okay. Derivatives are products which derived from the value of one or more basic variables contractually. These variables are also called bases, underlying assets, index or reference rates. The underlying asset can be which among the following? Equity, forex, wheat, gold, all of the above. So we know derivatives are कि उसकी value खुद की नहीं होती है, but it is derived from the value of an underlying asset, है ना? So what can be that underlying asset? Can it be equity? Can it be forex, wheat, gold, all of the above? John says all of the above, which is absolutely correct. E. Yes, Raju. A put option has a strike price of 6,000. So strike price is of 6,000. If the current spot price of the underlying asset is 5,800, what is the moneyness of the put option? In the money, out of money, at the money, deep in the money, the put option has no value. Satvik and Akash had also given me E as the answer. Absolutely correct, guys. Now give me the answer for question number 9. John is saying option A, in the money. Anybody else? Akash, Satvik, Raju, what about you guys? John is saying, John has already given me the answer. The correct answer, Satvik is saying A, which is absolutely correct. In the money. Okay? Okay, spot price is below the strike price, so put option is in the money. Which of the following committee is responsible for the setup of IRDAI? AC Shah Committee, RN Malhotra Committee, Tarapur Committee, P. Nayak Committee or Narsimham Committee? Tenth question. John says B. Anybody else? P. Malhotra, RN Malhotra Committee, which is absolutely correct. Okay. What is the maximum amount for which an ombudsman can entertain a complaint? 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs, 20 lakhs or 25 lakhs? Quickly, I want everybody to give me quick answers. है ना? फटाफट से we have to complete a lot of questions here. So give me the answer very quickly. Okay, so what is the maximum amount for which an ombudsman can entertain a complaint? 5, 10, 15, 20 or 25 lakh? E option, B option. The correct answer is the D option, which is 20 lakhs. Okay, so 20 lakhs hai. Make sure you remember this next. Dash is the time period after vesting within which the employee should exercise his right to apply for shares against the option vested in him in pursuance of the employee stock option plan. Exercise period, vesting period, selling period, applying period or none of the above? Time period after vesting within which the employee should exercise his right to apply for shares against the option vested in him. What is the answer? Exercise period, vesting period, selling period, applying period. John is saying B, vesting period. And Akash is saying A, exercise period. The correct answer is A, exercise period. Okay, not B, Satvik, John. Akash is absolutely right. It is basically exercise period. Okay. Options Greeks are tools to measure the sensitivity of the option price to certain factors. Which of the following statements are not true in regard to the option Greeks? Not true. यहाँ पे क्या पूछा है? Not true. Vega is option Greeks that measures the sensitivity of an option premium or price to a change in the value of the underlying asset. Gamma is option Greeks that measures the change in delta of an option for a change in the price of the underlying asset. Rho is option Greeks that measure the change in the option price for a change in the risk-free interest rates. Option A and B, C, B, none of the above. 13th question. John is saying only A. Anybody else? Satvik, Akash, Raju, what is the answer for this question? Try to give me a guess, even if you don't know. Correct answer is A. Absolutely correct, John. यहाँ पे पूछा not true, so only A option is not true. Vega measures the sensitivity of an option's price to a change in its implied volatility. ठीक है? Rho measures change in option price for a change in risk-free interest rates. Theta measures rate at which an option's time premium diminishes as time passes. Gamma measures change in delta of an option for a change in the price of the underlying asset. ठीक है? And delta measures sensitivity of an option's premium price to a change in the value of underlying asset. ठीक है? India's first budget was presented on 7th April 1860 by which individual? R.K. Shanmugam Shetty, Morarji Desai, James Wilson, P. Chidambaram, Pranab Mukherjee. Again, very easy question. When I take up my ESI classes, we discuss about this. 14th question. First budget presented on 7th April 1860 by which individual out of these? Absolutely correct, John. R.K. Shanmugam Shetty. ठीक है? अच्छा इसमें R.K. Shanmugam Shetty not in 1860 by the way, John. है ना? Not in 1860. First budget, Indian budget was presented by R.K. Shanmugam Shetty. You are absolutely correct in that case. But in 1860, it was presented by James Wilson. Okay? Fine, James Wilson initially. Okay? Okay, John. So R.K. Shanmugam Shetty would be correct if it was after independence. And but it is 1860. See the time frame at that point of time. So it is James Wilson. Okay? Talari Vinay has given me the correct answer. Who holds the record for presenting the most number of budgets in the history of the country? P. Chidambaram, Pranab Mukherjee, Nirmala Sitharaman, Morarji Desai, R.K. Shanmugam Shetty. Who holds the record for presenting the most number of budgets in history? 10 budgets have been presented. Vinay has given me C as the answer. John has also given me C as the answer. But the answer is D. Morarji Desai holds the record of presenting maximum budgets, which is 10 budgets. Okay? So the answer is D, not C. Okay? D है Morarji Desai. Okay, John, Akash, Vinay. What is the proposed total corpus and the specific allocation for 25-26 for the newly announced Urban Challenge Fund aimed at implementing urban sector proposals? Total corpus 10 crore, 10 lakh crore. Allocation for 25-26 1 lakh crore. Or 1 lakh crore is the total corpus. Allocation is 10,000 crore. Or total corpus is 50,000 crore. Allocation is 5,000. Total corpus 1 lakh. Allocation 25,000 crore. And total corpus 25,000 crore, allocation 10,000 crore. 16th. John has given me D as the answer for 16th question. Anybody else? Anybody else? Vinay says B. The correct answer is B. Okay. Total corpus is 1 lakh crore and allocation is 10,000 crore. Okay. Okay. So B is absolutely correct. Vinay. Okay. Okay, John. According to SEBI update, how should mutual funds value additional tier 1 bonds? Yield to maturity, market value, yield to call, book value, or current yield? Anji, what is the answer? हाँ 16B was the correct answer. आकाश 17th का बताएं हम फटाफट. Mutual funds value, how should mutual funds value additional tier 1 bonds? 17 option C or D. John is saying 17C. Acha, the correct answer is C, yield to call. Absolutely correct. Very good, John. In December 2024, Talari Vinay, it is not B, it is C. ठीक है, yield to call. ठीक है. 18th question. In December 24, RBI implemented a key monetary measure to inject liquidity into the banking system. What was the specific action? Repo rate was reduced from 6.5 to 6.25. SLR was increased to curb excessive lending. CRR was cut from 4.5 to 4%. Open market operations involving sale of government securities were initiated. The interest rate ceiling on foreign currency non-resident deposits was reduced. 18th question. John is saying 18 option C. Anybody else? What about you, Vinay, Akash? The answer is C. Absolutely correct, John. Okay. The cash is over issue was cut from 4.5 to 4%. Okay. A capital market intermediary must maintain and preserve specified books of account records and documents such as copies of balance sheets, profit and loss accounts, and net worth statements. For how long must these records be preserved in electronic retrieval form? For a minimum of 5 years, 10 years, 12 years, 8 years, until the CMI's registration is suspended or cancelled. हाँ जी, question number 19. For how long must these records be preserved? Very easy question. John, we've done this in class, है ना? You have attended the regulations class, है ना? We've covered it, है ना? The correct answer is D, minimum of 8 years. We've done this in class also in all the regulations. Whatever regulations they're going to ask, and any regulations, remember everyone. Not only CMI regulations, any regulations, the records have to be preserved for 8 years. Every kind of regulation, whatever regulation is asked. Okay, so question if it is asked related to any regulation, then you have to select 8 years only. Okay, 8 years is the correct answer. According to IFSCA authority, KYC registration agency regulations 2025, which minimum net worth must an entity seeking registration as a KRA maintain at all times? 5 million US dollars, 1 crore INR, 10 million US dollars, 1 million US dollars, or 5 crore INR. This also we have done in the paid batches classes when we did the regulations, and I explicitly told you कि net worth kind of things have to be remembered. Net worth, record preservation, such kind of things have to be remembered. ठीक है? हाँ जी, तो बताइए. Which minimum net worth must an entity seeking registration as a KRA maintain at all times? 20 option C 10 million or 5 million. Anybody else? Satvik, Akash? 20. Akash is saying D, $1 million. The correct answer is D, 1 million US dollar. Okay? So net worth should be maintained at least 1 million US dollars at all times. Okay? 21st. What is a captive insurance company? An insurance company that operates within an international financial services center, an insurance company that insures only one risk, an insurance company that insures only captives, an insurance company that provides risk mitigation services for its parent company or a group of related companies, an insurance company that provides risk mitigation services for its parent company's competitors. What is the answer? What is the answer to this question? The first question, Akash has given me D as the answer, right? John is also saying D. Satvik is saying C or D. The correct answer is D. Okay, an insurance company that provides risk mitigation services for its parent company or a group of related companies. है ना? 22nd question. Which of the following budget documents is mandated under Article 112 of the Constitution of India? Very easy question. Finance bill, demand for grants, annual financial statement, macroeconomic framework statement, medium term fiscal policy fiscal policy strategy statement. Hanji. 22nd question. Which of the following budget documents is mandated under Article 112? Article 112. 22D, 22E. The correct answer is C, which is annual financial statement. ठीक है? तो जो budget है आपका, that is mentioned in Article 112 of the Constitution. ठीक है? So not E, not D. It is annual financial statement. ठीक है? Budget word is nowhere used in the Constitution. This word is nowhere used in the Constitution. Which word is used? Annual financial statement. An annual financial statement is mentioned in Article 112 of the Constitution. Please remember it. Okay? There are mainly 5 participants in the secondary market. They are stock exchange, buyers and sellers, broker, clearing corporation, and depository. There are how many depositories in India and what are they? 1. National Securities Depository Limited only. 2. NSDL and SEBI. 2. NSDL and CDSL. 3. NSDL, CDSL and RBI, or 1 SEBI? Very easy question again. Very easy question again. You can easily, do this. Absolutely correct. NSDL and CDSL, there are 2. है ना? ठीक है? A financial advisory firm is tasked with preparing a list of qualified institutional buyers for a new public offering. They need to ensure that the entities on their list meet the specific criteria set by the DIP guidelines. Given the following profiles of institutional investors, which combination accurately represents entities that are not classified as qualified institutional buyers under clause 2.2.2b 5 of the DIP guidelines? A development finance institution that is registered with SEBI, a corporate pension fund with a corpus of 20 crores, private equity firms not registered with SEBI, an insurance company registered with the IRDAI, both B and C. 24th question. Akash says E, John is saying C. Anyone else? The correct answer is E. Okay, so Akash has given me E as the correct answer. Both B and C, a corporate pension fund with a corpus of 20 crores and private equity firms not registered with SEBI. Okay, John, so both B and C. B is also there, not only C. As per Schedule 1 of the IFSCA Capital Market Intermediaries Regulations 2025, what is the minimum net worth requirement specified for an entity seeking registration as an investment advisor? We've done this also in class. 1.5 million US dollars, 50,000 US dollars, 200,000 US dollars, 25,000 US dollars, or 100,000 US dollars. हाँ जी. 25th answer, 25th question, what is the answer? Yes, John, revise the figures today, है ना? You're missing out on the figures, है ना? Download those PDFs which were provided in class and quickly skim through them, है ना? 25 option B or D, the right answer is D, which is 25,000 US dollars. Okay, so D hai. The SEBI mechanism that allows for the application amount to remain in the investor's account and only debited after shares are allotted is known as what? ECS, ASBA, NEFT, SWIFT, CHIPS. What is the answer? Hanji, John, Akash, Vinay, Satvik, Raju. What is the correct answer? Akash says B. Anybody else? The correct answer is B. Application supported by blocked amount system, है ना? ASBA. The definition of group entities includes two or more entities related through which of the following medium investment criteria in equity shares or capital contribution? 10% and above, 20% and above, 26% and above, 50% and above, or 75% and above. 27th question. (27) option D, A, the correct answer is B, 20% and above. ठीक है, not D, not A, 20% and above. Which of the following types of venture capital is characterized by investing in early stage companies that are typically in the concept of development phase? Growth capital, seed capital, buoyant capital, mezzanine capital, or bridge financing? Very easy question. Very easy question. Vinay had given me A as the answer. सबने A, D, E दे दिया था answer for 27th, but the correct answer was B. 28th question. जब आप किसी न्यू अर्ली स्टेज कंपनी में कैपिटल दे रहे हैं, व्हाट इज दैट कॉल्ड? सीड कैपिटल, एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट, पी है ना? To standardize claim settlement and reduce disputes, government specified where simultaneous nominations are not permitted. Under the framework coming into force from 1st November 25, which facilities permit only successive nominations? Deposit accounts, safety lockers, articles kept in safe custody, safety lockers and articles kept in safe custody, deposit accounts, safety lockers and articles kept in safe custody. A, B, C, D or E? 29th question. Hanji, what is the answer? 29th question D. Akash is saying D. Vinay saying E. The correct answer is D. Okay? D is the correct answer. Safety lockers and articles kept in safe custody. Not E, but D. Okay? What is India's global rank in terms of total foreign exchange reserves as of December 2024 according to economic survey? Second, third, fourth, seventh और 10th. Economic survey से पूछ रहे हैं in December 2024. Total foreign exchange reserves. What is India's global rank? Second, third, fourth, seventh or 10th? 30th question. John is saying 7th. The correct answer is C, which is 4th. Okay, it is not 7th, it is 4th. Fourth largest foreign exchange reserve holder, $640.3 billion. After China, Japan, Switzerland. Okay, we have China, Japan, then Switzerland, and then India as of 2024 December. Okay. In life insurance, the nominee receives the assured sum in case the policyholder does not outlive dash. Outlive what? Policy term, policy maturity, contract period, maturity date. Whereas in general insurance, compensation is paid only for the damage to dash assets, life assets, non-life assets, immovable assets, tangible assets, none of the above. Anji, what is the correct answer? For question number 31, B, the correct answer is B. Very good. Policy maturity, non-life asset. Which financial metric is used for financial reporting by the TechFin and ancillary service provider to the authority unless otherwise specified? Indian rupee, pound sterling, euro, Japanese yen, US dollar. For financial reporting. Which financial metric? 32 option E, which is absolutely correct, US dollar. In its October 2025 consultation focused on improving pension wealth presentation, EFRDA proposed a dual valuation system for long dated government securities in NPS or APY. Which two valuation approaches were recommended? Book value or replacement cost, accrual fair market, par value yield to maturity, mark to market historical cost, amortized cost or indexed cost. What is the answer? Which two valuation approaches were recommended in this 2025 consultation, October 25 consultation? 33rd question. 33 Akash has given me B as the answer. Anybody else? Vinay says E. John is saying C. The correct answer is B, which is accrual fair market. Okay, so very good. Akash has given me the correct answer. Which of the following is not a criterion for an entity to be recognized as Research and Advisory on Auditing Standards Board and International Auditing and Insurance Standards Board? Not a criterion. The entity must have a minimum of 15 years of experience of existence as a recognized stock exchange. Stock exchange must have a minimum net worth of 200 crore. The stock exchange must have nationwide terminals. Entity must have a minimum of 100 listed companies. The entity must operate under the regulations of a recognized financial authority. 34th question. Not a criterion out of these. Anji, any guesses? Any idea? 34, John is saying A. The answer is D and not A. Okay. The entity must have a minimum of 100 listed companies. Criteria for grant of recognition as this: an entity must have 15 years of experience and minimum net worth 200 crore and have nationwide terminals. D is not a criterion. Okay, minimum 100 listed companies is not a criterion. Okay, so 34th answer is A. Not a criterion. A is a criterion. Okay, John, A is a criterion. 15 years of existence. Okay. Recently, which of the following stock exchange has extended the market trade hours for interest rate derivatives to 5 p.m.? Bombay Stock Exchange, National Stock Exchange, Calcutta Stock Exchange, India International Exchange, or none of the above? Trade hours have been extended till 5 p.m. for interest rate derivatives by BSE, NSE, CSE, India International Exchange, or none of the above. 35th question. Anji, John, Vinay, Akash, what is the answer? What about others? 35B, the correct answer is absolutely B, which is National Stock Exchange. 36th question, the International Financial Services Centers Authority regulations, TechFin and Ancillary Services Regulations 2025 were notified in Gandhinagar on which date? 27th April 2022, February 10, 2021, July 8, 2025, Section 4 of the Act commencement date, or January 1st, 2024. TechFin and Ancillary Services Regulations. CCBC, the correct answer is C, 8th July 2025. Okay? 37th question. What are the minimum and maximum contribution limits when opening an NPS Vatsalya scheme account? Minimum 1000, no upper limit. Minimum 500, upper limit 5000. Minimum 1500, upper limit 7500. Minimum 2000 and no upper limit. Minimum 2500 and up to 10,000. Minimum and maximum contribution limits. 37th AAA, which is absolutely correct. Minimum 1000 and no upper limit. Consider PFRDA consultation paper on valuation for long only funds dated October 2025. Evaluate the statements and identify the correct one regarding this. One objective is to reduce the impact of short-term interest rate volatility on scheme NAV during the accumulation phase. The consultation focus on long-dated government securities held under NPS and APY. Third statement, stakeholder comments are invited until 31st December 2025. 1 and 2 only, 2 only, 2 and 3 only, 1 and 3 only, 1, 2 and 3. 38th question. The correct answer is A. Okay. Nitin, was this answer for 38th question or 37th question? Please mention the number. Okay. E nahi hai, A hai. 1 and 2 only. Okay. The consultation paper dated 17th October 2025 proposes adoption of dual valuation framework. Okay. So only 1 and 2 are correct. And the consultation paper, the feedback is invited till 30th November 2025, not 31st December 2025. Okay. A is the correct answer. Yes. Acha, you saw it. Okay, Nitin. Okay, you saw the answer over here. To strengthen governance and transparency in pension fund valuation, PFRDA issued a consultation paper on revising valuation norms for long-dated government securities in NPS APY. On which date was this consultation paper released? 30th September 2025, 1st October 25, 31st October 25, 17th August 25, 17th October 2025. 39E, 39C. The correct answer is E, okay, which is 17th October 2025. On which date was the consultation paper released? It was 17th October 2025. Okay? E is the correct answer. According to data released by RBI in its monthly bulletin, outward remittances under RBI's liberalized remittance scheme declined dash percent 17.7, 6.5, 19.6, 23.4, or 21.45. Year on year in August 2025 to dash billion dollars, $2.6 billion, $12.02 billion, $1.62 billion, $0.319 billion, or $0.152 billion. 40, John is saying A. Anybody else? The correct answer is A, which is 17.7 to 2.6. Okay? Which legal forms are permitted for a fund management entity seeking authorization to offer third-party fund management services in the IFSCA? Only a company incorporated in IFSC. Only a limited liability partnership incorporated in the IFSC. A company, limited liability partnership, or any other form as permitted by the authority. A company or a branch of an entity incorporated outside of the IFSC, or a company, trust, or a statutory corporation. A was the correct answer, Akash. 40 ka. And 41st. Nitin, Akash are saying C, which is absolutely correct. A company, LLP, or any other form as permitted by the authority. 42nd question. PFRDA has proposed a dual valuation system for long-dated government securities in NPS or APY to align pension funds with long-term investment goals. Which of the following is not one of the stated objectives of this proposal? Align investments with long-term capital formation in the economy, enable frequent trading strategies to generate short-term gains, boost stakeholder confidence through financing long gestation infrastructure, present a stable and simplified view of pension wealth accumulation, minimize the impact of short-term interest rate fluctuations on NAV. B, which is absolutely correct. Okay, B is absolutely correct. Enable frequent trading strategies to generate short-term gains. As per PLFS 23-24 report, what was India's unemployment rate for individuals aged 15 years and above? 6%, 5.5%, 4.9%, 3.2%, or 7.1%? As per PLFS 23-24, what was India's unemployment rate for individuals aged 15 years and above? 43B, 43D. Nitin is saying C. The correct answer is D, which is 3.2%. Okay? Under NPS partial withdrawal rule, which among the following is not one of the criteria which allows for partial withdrawal? For treatment of critical illness, for purchase of a transport vehicle, for purchase or construction of residential house, marriage of children, or higher education of children. 44. B, the correct answer is B, for purchase of a transport vehicle. Absolutely correct. John, Akash, Nitin. A call option has a strike price of rupees 45 and an option premium of 7 rupees. Calculate the stock price at expiration at which the call option holds break even. 52, 50, 55, 42 or 47. Jaldi se calculate and tell me. Strike price is rupees 45. Option premium is rupees 7. 45th A, which is absolutely correct. So break even price क्या होता है और प्लस कर देना आपने 45 and 7 को. ठीक है, break even price is strike price plus option premium 52. ठीक है. Which instrument approved by the authority or a delegated officer is issued in the form of a circular, guideline, framework, or any other instrument by whatever name called? Notification, regulation, financial product, subsidiary instruction, or consultation paper. Issued in the form of circular, guideline, framework, notification, regulation, financial product, subsidiary instruction, or consultation paper. 46B, Nitin is saying. Anybody else? Akash, John, what about you guys? The correct answer is D. It is subsidiary instruction. Okay. Fine. So a subsidiary instruction is defined as an instrument approved by authority or such other officer to whom such power is delegated and issued in the form of circular, guideline, framework, or any other instrument by whatever name called. 47th question. As per the rollout timeline, the Banking Laws Amendment Act of 2025 was notified on dash, while the nomination related provisions contained in sections 10 to 13 will come into force from dash. 15 April 2025 and 1st August 2025. 15th April 25, November 25, 29 July 2025, 1st November 2025, or 1st August 25, 1st November 2025, or 1st November 25 and 15 April 25. 47, no idea. B, the correct answer is B. Very good, John. 15th April 2025 notified, and force from 1st November 2025. According to the National Health Accounts 21-22, the share of government health expenditure in the total health expenditure has improved significantly. What was the share of government health expenditure in the year financial year 22? In total health expenditure in financial year 22? 29%, 39.4%, 48%, 62.6%, or 87.3%? What is the answer for 48th question? According to National Health Accounts, what was the share of government health expenditure in total health expenditure in financial year 22? 48, Akash is saying C. The correct answer is C, 48%. Okay? In context of Section 4 of IRDAI Act, the tenure of chairman will be dash years. How many years? 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, or 7 years? Provided that no person shall hold office as chairman after he has attained the age of 60 years, 65 years, 62 years, or 52 years. D, you guys are saying, which is absolutely correct. 5 years and 65 years. Very good. 50th question. Section 25 of IRDAI Act deals with which of the following? Composition of members of IRDAI, appointment of investigating officer, deposit requirement for insurers, functions and duties of IRDAI, establishment of insurance advisory committee. Section 25 of IRDAI Act deals with which of these? E. The correct answer is E. Absolutely correct. Establishment of Insurance Advisory Committee. है ना? 51st question. As per the Economic Survey 24-25, in the context of National Health Accounts 21-22, what was the percentage share of out-of-pocket expenditure in the total health expenditure? 62.6%, 48%, 39.4%, 29%, or 12.7%? हाँ जी, out of pocket expenditure in total health expenditure. 51D, A, the correct answer is not D, not A, but C, 39.4%. ठीक है? Which of the following legal structures is not explicitly permitted for an applicant seeking registration as a techfin and ancillary services provider unless permitted otherwise by the authority? A company incorporated in IFSC, a branch of a limited liability partnership incorporated outside the IFSC, an LLP incorporated in IFSC, a partnership firm registered under the Indian Partnership Act of 1932 with all partners being members of professional body constituted under an Act of Parliament, a foreign private equity fund operating as a trust. Not explicitly permitted. The second, Nitin has given me A as the answer. Anybody else? D, E. Nitin has given me E as the answer. Nitin, please mention the number of the question. I am getting confused which answer are you giving. Okay? Just write down 52, 53, whatever you're giving. D, B, E. The correct answer is E, which is absolutely correct. A foreign private equity fund operating as a trust. Okay? Okay? 53rd question. Super core inflation is defined as the measure of inflation calculated after adjusting for which of the following? Changes in interest rates and stock market fluctuations, price fluctuations of food and energy products, gold and silver price inflation, variations in housing and transportation costs, adjustments for global economic crisis. Super core inflation. A, B, the correct answer is not A, not B, but answer is C, gold and silver price inflation. So super core inflation, gold and silver price inflation. We are talking about bullion over here. Okay? Factoring and forfeiting are financial instruments that businesses use to manage their receivables and improve cash flow. Which of the following statements correctly describes the key difference between factoring and forfeiting? We've done this especially in the classes and static classes also. Factoring involves selling accounts receivables with a guarantee from an intermediary, while forfeiting typically does not involve such a guarantee. Factoring is primarily used for short-term domestic receivables. Forfeiting mainly used for long-term international trade receivables. In forfeiting, seller of receivables retains the risk associated with the debtor's default, while in factoring, exporter eliminates this risk by selling without recourse. Factoring is used for long-term financing needs, while forfeiting is primarily for short-term cash flow issues. In factoring, the seller eliminates all risks related to the debtor, whereas in forfeiting, the seller retains those risks. 54, John has given me C as the answer. Anybody else? The correct answer is not C but B. Factoring is primarily used for short-term domestic receivables, whereas forfeiting for long-term international trade receivables. ठीक है, तो B is the correct answer, not C, John. ठीक है. To reduce the compliance burden for taxpayers, the budget 25-26 proposes to omit which major tax collected at source provision? TCS on foreign remittances under liberalized remittance scheme, TCS on remittances for education purposes financed by a loan, TCS on the sale of specified goods of value more than 50 lakhs, TCS on the licensing and lease of parking lots, TCS on the on the sale of scrap. 55th question. Hanji. To reduce compliance burden for taxpayers, budget 25-26 proposes to omit which major tax deduct collected at source? 55A, the correct answer is not A but C. TCS on the sale of specified goods of value more than 50 lakhs. Okay? Value more than 50 lakhs, not A, not even B, but C. Okay? Okay. The old pension scheme was discontinued in India primarily due to several critical issues. Which of the following was not cited as a reason for the discontinuation? The problem of pension debt sustainability, an aging population leading to increased fiscal burden, an incentive for early retirement due to fixed pension at last drawn salary, lack of accumulated funds for pension obligations making it a clear fiscal burden, its inability to attract contributions from the unorganized sector workforce. Which of these is not a reason, not cited a reason for discontinuation of the old pension scheme? PAYG. E, which is absolutely correct. Okay, E is not. Inability to attract contributions from unorganized sector. This is not a cited reason. Okay. Which of the following statements is true regarding National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development and its shareholding structure? NABFID can only be owned by the central government. Authorized share capital of NABFID is 1 crore rupees. Initially, central government will own 100% of the shares, which may subsequently be reduced to up to 26%. Shares of NABFID can only be held by domestic financial institutions. NABFID's shares can be held exclusively by private investors. What is the answer? 57C, 57B, the correct answer is C. Nitin is absolutely correct. Initially, central government will own 100% of the shares and subsequently reduce to 26%. Which document among the key budgetary documents contain a statement showing gender budgeting, schemes for development of SC and STs, and scheme for the welfare of children? Annual financial statement, receipt budget, expenditure profile, budget at a glance, output outcome monitoring framework. Which document shows gender budgeting, schemes for development of SC and ST, and schemes for the welfare of children? 58th question, C, A, E, B. The correct answer is C, expenditure profile. ठीक है, expenditure profile में कहाँ पे पैसा लगाना है? Who presented Independent India's first budget and on what date was it presented? Independent India now. ठीक है? James Wilson, April 7, 1860. Morarji Desai, February 28, 1962. R.K. Shanmugam Shetty, November 26, 1947. Pranab Mukherjee, 1st Feb 2012. P. Chidambaram, 1st March 1997. Very easy question, है ना? C is absolutely correct. R.K. Shanmugam Shetty, 1947. Which set of focus areas summarizes the proposed development measures spanning 10 broad areas in the budget 2025-26? MSME youth, farmer, senior citizen, Garib youth, Annadata Nari, rural urban infrastructure and innovation, agriculture, industry, services and exports, people, economy, innovation and reform. Very easy question again. If you have read budget, these are the four major themes you can see. Focus areas. 60, B, Nitin is saying. Anybody else? B, John is saying, which is absolutely correct. Garib youth, Annadata and Nari. 61st question, as per the Economic Survey 24-25, what was the targeted investment for infrastructure development under the National Infrastructure Pipeline for the period financial year 20 to 25? 6 lakh crore, 11.17 lakh crore, 16.434 crore, 111 lakh crore or 2.77 lakh crore? Sixty-first question. B, the correct answer is D, not B, 111 lakh crore. ठीक है? Stock price is 60. ठीक है, rupees 60. And initial margin is 40% and maintenance margin is 20%. At what price the margin call would be made? 24, 36, 48, 45, 52. Quickly calculate and give me the answer. Stock price is rupees 60, initial margin is 40%, maintenance margin is 20%. At what price the margin call would be made? B 36. John is saying. What about others? 62nd question है by the way ये है ना? The correct answer is D, not B, but D 45. ठीक है? ठीक है, stock price 60 है, initial margin 40, maintenance 20. Initial investment 40% of rupees 60 ये आपका initial investment हो गया, initial margin which is rupees 24. ठीक है, that means 24 put up करना है, and while the remaining 36 is borrowed. ठीक है? चलो. As per Economic Survey 24-25, just download this PDF and solution अच्छे से देखना है जिसको नहीं आइडिया. ठीक है? As per Economic Survey 24-25, as of September 24, what was the percentage share of India's external debt relative to GDP? 17.2%, 18.8%, 19.4%, 22.1% or 25%? What was percentage of state share of India's external debt relative to GDP? External debt relative to GDP. 63, John is saying D. Anybody else? Acha, B. 63, D, B. The correct answer is, acha, Nitin is saying A. Answer is C. 19.4%. ठीक है? A receipt of the government leads to a decrease in the financial assets. Separately, an expense leads to the creation of a physical asset. Creation of a physical asset. How are these two transactions classified respectively based on fundamental principles of budget classification? Is it part of revenue receipt, revenue expenditure, capital receipt, capital expenditure, non-tax revenue, charged expenditure, capital receipt, revenue expenditure, tax revenue or capital expenditure? ठीक है, decrease in financial assets in first case and leads to an increase in financial asset in the second case. Very, very easy question. Question number 34. We talk about two kinds of budgets: revenue budget, capital budget, revenue expenditure, capital revenue receipts, capital expenditure, capital receipts. ठीक है, now they are saying that when we talk about a change in the asset and liabilities, we are basically talking about capital budget. That means we are talking about capital receipts and capital expenditure. So your answer is B. ठीक है? Which of the following best describes the role of a market maker in the secondary markets of India? A market maker is responsible for issuing new securities to investors in the primary market. A market maker provides liquidity to the market by continuously quoting buy and sell prices for a security. A market maker guarantees the price of newly issued securities in the primary market. A market maker manages government bond auctions in the secondary market. A market maker oversees the compliance of listed companies with regulatory requirements. 65B. Anybody else? What about Nitin, Akash? 65th question. B is absolutely correct. Okay, so we have Satyarth also now here, है ना? So B is absolutely correct. Which of the following statements is true regarding masala bonds? Masala bonds are dollar-denominated bonds issued by Indian entities. They are debt instruments issued in foreign markets to raise money in Indian rupees. Masala bonds can only be issued by government entities in India. These bonds are primarily intended for domestic investors within India. Masala bonds are used to raise funds exclusively for infrastructure projects. 66. John says B. B. Everybody is giving me B as the answer, which is absolutely correct. They are debt instruments issued in foreign markets but raised in INR, right? 67. Which of the following statements correctly differentiates between book building and reverse book building? Book building is used to determine the price for share buyback programs, while reverse book building is for launching IPOs. Book building involves shareholders bidding to sell shares, while reverse book building involves investors bidding for the price of IPO shares. Book building helps finalize IPO issue price. Reverse book building helps determine buyback price from existing shareholders. Both techniques are used solely for IPOs and have no relevance in share buyback scenarios. Book building is a non-competitive process, while reverse book building is a competitive process. C, which is absolutely correct. Book building helps finalize IPO issue price. Reverse book building helps determine the buyback price from existing shareholders. Very good. Pranav, John, Nitin, Satyarth, Akash, everybody, absolutely correct. A capital market intermediary incorporated in the IFSC is required to submit a copy of its annual compliance audit report to the authority for a given financial year. By which date must this report be furnished? Within 15 days of conclusion of the financial year, by the 31st of December of the same financial year, by the 30th of June of the next financial year, within 90 days of the conclusion of the financial year. What is the answer? D. Absolutely correct. 30th of September. And a very easy question. Then in November 2025, Shema General Insurance announced a Green Climate Fund Board. Green Climate Fund Board approved capital infusion to strengthen climate resilience for rural India. Consider the following statements and identify the correct ones. The $20 million will strengthen underwriting capacity and expand offerings to uninsured farmers and their crops. The initiative aligns with IRDA and government directions to expand across in Tier 2 and Tier 3 towns and supports the national goal of insurance for all by 2047. The capital is earmarked primarily to subsidize urban motor insurance premiums unrelated to agricultural risks. 1 and 2 only, 2 only, 2 and 3 only, 1 and 3 only, 1, 2 and 3. Sixty-ninth question. Out of these, what is the correct answer? Quickly read it, everyone, and give me the answer. Hanji, 69th question. The correct answer is A. That is 1 and 2 only. The capital is earmarked primarily to subsidize urban motor insurance premiums unrelated to agricultural risk. This is not correct. Rest all is correct. Okay. 70th question. Which type of deferred annuity allows funds to be linked to a market index and provides a minimum guaranteed return? Fixed deferred annuity, variable deferred annuity, longevity annuity, indexed deferred annuity with life cover. Which type of deferred annuity allows funds to be linked to a market index? 70th question, Akash has given me D as the answer. Satyarth also says D. The correct answer is D. Very good. Indexed deferred annuity. Right, John, D. Okay. Which regulatory body in India is primarily responsible for overseeing and regulating the issuance of securities in the primary market? RBI, NSE, SEBI, BSE, Ministry of Finance. Again, very easy question. Quickly give me the answer. Which regulatory body primarily responsible for overseeing and regulating issuance of securities in the primary market? Absolutely correct. It is SEBI, है ना? According to International Financial Services Authority Regulatory Board Regulations of 2024, what is the minimum required frequency for the ordinary meetings of the board? Once in a year, 4 times in a year, at least twice in a year, once every quarter, or at least 3 times in a year? 72nd question. Minimum required frequency for ordinary meetings of the board. John is saying 4 times. Anybody else? D, B, the correct answer is C, which is at least twice in a year. Okay? C is the correct answer, not 4, at least twice in a year. As announced in November 2025, which insurance company received a $20 million capital infusion from Green Climate Fund to enhance financial resilience among small and marginal farmers in India? We've done this question only, I think 2-3 questions back. Bajaj Alliance General Insurance, ICICI, Shema General Insurance, New India Assurance, HDFC Ergo General Insurance. ये तो बहुत easy है ना? Shema General Insurance, absolutely correct. Entity X registered with SEBI intends to set up operations in IFSC to function as a KRA. Which of the following structures is permissible for Entity X under IFSC KYC Registration Agency Regulations 2025, and what specific net worth requirements applies? Entity X must set up a company in the IFSC with a minimum net worth of $1 million US, which cannot be sourced from its SEBI registered parent. It must set up a branch in IFSC, but the minimum net worth of $1 million US must be maintained separately as a ring-fenced and earmarked fund. Entity X must set up a wholly owned subsidiary in IFSC, and the $1 million US net worth requirement is waived since the parent is SEBI regulated. Entity X may set up a branch in IFSC provided it earmarks and ring fences at least $5 million US. Entity X must set up an entity in the form of a company, as branches are not permitted for SEBI regulated entities. 74th, you guys have given me B as the answer, which is absolutely correct. It must be set up as a branch in the IFSC, but the minimum net worth $1 million US, it must be maintained separately as a ring fenced and earmarked fund. So B is absolutely correct. 75th question, NBFCs operating in the P2P lending sector are required to maintain a leverage ratio not exceeding 2. Second statement, a lender's total investment across all P2P platforms at any given time is capped at 50 crore, 50 lakhs INR and 50 lakh INR, and those investing more than 10 lakh must provide a certificate from a chartered accountant verifying a minimum net worth of 50 lakh. The total amount a borrower can have as loans across all P2P platforms is capped at 15 lakh. A single lender's exposure to the same borrower across all P2P platforms is limited to 50,000. 1, 2 and 3 are true. 1, 2 and 4 are true. Statements 1, 3 and 4 are true. 2, 3 and 4 are true, or all statements are true. 75B, which is absolutely correct. When the shares are held in unlisted company, it is treated as long-term capital assets. When the holding period exceeds 36 months, 12 months, 6 months, 24 months, 32 months. When the shares are held in unlisted company, it is treated as long-term capital assets when a holding period exceeds how many months? 36, 12, 6, 24 or 32 months? John is saying B, 12 months. Anybody else? Satyarth says A, 36 months. Akash is saying B, 12 months. The correct answer is D, not A, not B, but D, 24 months. Okay? 24 months. 77th question, financial inclusion has been defined as the process of ensuring access to financial services, timely and adequate credit for vulnerable groups such as weaker sections and low-income groups at an affordable cost. Match the following financial inclusion measures with their corresponding allocation percentages. Access, usages, quality, 20%, 35%, 45%. Match these and give me the answer. Access, usage and quality. यही parameters है when we calculate the financial inclusion index, है ना? So what are the percentages? Allocation percentages. 77 D, 77 C. Akash is saying, John is saying D. The correct answer is C. ठीक है? 1, 2, 3. Access 20%, usage 35%, quality 45%. C is the correct answer, not D. Only Akash has given me the correct answer right now. ठीक है? 78th question, which of the following services listed in the first schedule Ancillary services is explicitly excluded from the scope of services permitted under these regulations. Valuation services, business process outsourcing, fund administration services including fund accounting, trusteeship services, specifically debenture trustee services permitted under IFSCA Regulations 2025, global mobility services, immigration support services for students. 78th. 78th A, Satyarth says E, John is saying A. The correct answer is not A, not E, but D. Trusteeship services, specifically debenture trustee services permitted under IFSCA CMI Regulations 2025. Okay? 79th question. What is the definition of a lease in the context of asset usage? A legal agreement where the owner of an asset sells it to the user, an arrangement where the owner of an asset allows its use in exchange for regular payments, a contract where the user of an asset becomes its owner after a period, a financial agreement solely for purchasing assets, a temporary transfer of ownership rights of an asset. 79B, which is absolutely correct. An arrangement where owner of an asset allows its use in exchange for regular payments. है ना? Easy था question. 80th question. In 2025, which bank executed its inaugural gold trade as a special category client on the IIBX, aiming to modernize gold imports, enhance transparency, support MSME jewelers, promote efficient bullion trade? HDFC, Axis, SBI, ICICI, or Punjab National Bank? What is the correct answer? What is the correct answer? ATC, SBI, you guys are saying? The correct answer is C, SBI, absolutely correct. Okay, because SBI recently only became a special category client. है ना? John, we were discussing this in class also. है ना? Sorry. 81st question. Regarding tax benefits on self-contributions to NPS Tier 1 under Section 80 CCD 1B, what is the key distinction highlighted in the document when comparing the old tax regime with the new tax regime? The deduction limit of 50,000 under the new tax regime is exclusively available to self-employed individuals. In the new tax regime, this deduction is merged with overall Section 80 CCE limit, reducing its standalone benefit. The additional deduction of up to 50,000 under Section 80 CCD 1B cannot be claimed under the new tax regime. The new tax regime permits a higher deduction of up to 1 lakh under this section for all taxpayers. There is no distinction. The benefits under Section 80 CCD are identical across both old and new tax regime. 81st question. John says C. Anybody else? Akash, Satyarth. What is the answer? Answer is C. Absolutely correct. Additional deduction up to 50,000 under Section 80 CCD 1B cannot be claimed under the new tax regime. Okay? So 81 is C, not B, Satyarth. A member nominated to the Payments Regulatory Board under Clause D of subsection 3 of Section 3 of the Act, who is not a public servant, holds office for what period, and is subject to what eligibility for renomination? 3 years eligible for one renomination, 4 years eligible for renomination, 5 years not eligible for renomination, 4 years not eligible for renomination, 3 years not eligible for renomination. 82nd. John says A. Anybody else? Nitin says E. Satyarth says E. The correct answer is D, not E, not A, but 4 years not eligible for renomination. Okay? 83rd question. In November 2025, to streamline pensioner verification and reduce in-person visits, India Post Payments Bank and the Employees Provident Fund Organization signed an MOU to deliver doorstep digital life certificate services under EPS 95. Which of the statements are correct? IPPB is a 100% Government of India owned entity under Department of Posts in the Ministry of Communications. EPFO functions under the Ministry of Labour and Employment. Under this MOU, EPFO pensioners must visit designated bank branches to submit paper-based life certificates. 1 and 2 only, 2 only, 2 and 3 only, 1 and 3 only, 1, 2 and 3. 83A you guys are saying, which is absolutely correct. Very good. Satyarth, Nitin, Akash. In the context of the proposed regulatory reforms, the budget emphasizes moving towards a light touch regulatory framework. What core principles underpin this framework according to the finance minister? Technology, transparency, accountability, principles, trust and productivity, compliance, monitoring and strict enforcement, digitalization, standardization and centralization, global best practices, competition and subsidy reduction. Okay, fourth question, A, B, A, B. The correct answer is B. Okay. So John and Satyarth have given me B as the answer, which is absolutely correct. Principles, trust and productivity. 85th question, in a move aimed at boosting climate risk protection for rural India, the board of the Green Climate Fund approved a capital infusion into Shema General Insurance. The approved amount is $1 million. How much? 25, 20, 15, 30 or $20 million. And small and marginal farmers constitute percentage of India's farmers, the core target group of this initiative. 76%, 86%, 66% or 80%. 85th question, John has given me C as the answer. What about others? Akash, Satyarth, B, B. John is saying B now. The correct answer is B, absolutely correct. $20 million and 86%. 86th question. Under the all citizen model of NPS, what is the eligible age range for an Indian citizen to open an NPS account? Minimum 18 years, maximum 60. Minimum 21, max 65. 1865, 1870 or 2170. 86 D, which is absolutely correct. Minimum 18 years, maximum 70 years. Which phase in the deferred annuity process involves the investor paying into the annuity before receiving income? Payout phase, distribution phase, withdrawal phase, growth phase, accumulation phase. 87 E. The correct answer is E. Very good. Accumulation phase. What is the minimum ordinary time period in calendar days that the authority shall provide for receiving public comments on proposed regulations? 7 calendar days, 10 calendar days, 15, 21 or 30 calendar days. Minimum ordinary time period. Hanji, 88th question. E, A, D. The correct answer is D. 21 calendar days. Very good, John. 21 calendar days is the correct answer. 89th question. In an effort to curb concentration risk in Nifty Bank Index, which is Bank Nifty, SEBI revised maximum weight allowed for the single largest constituent. What is the new cap on the top constituents' weights as per the October 2025 announcement? 15%, 25%, 40%, 20% or 23%. 89th question. What is the answer? B. John is saying B, 25%. Siddharth is saying A, 15%. The correct answer is D. Not A, not B, but D, 20%. Okay? Through its special category client operations on IIBX, State Bank of India executed its inaugural trade for imports of which precious metal, a key raw material for the jewelry industry, enhancing efficiency, transparency, accessibility, particularly for MSME jewelers. Silver, gold, platinum, palladium, rhodium. Very easy question. Question number 90, B, which is absolutely correct. Gold. Hai na? Last 10 questions. 91st question. Prior to the 2025 amendment, the time limit specified in sub-regulation 8 of regulation 16 of principal regulations was 90 days, 180 days, 135 days, 210 days, 45 days. 91. 90 का तो everybody is giving me the correct answer है ना. BB, John, Nitin, Siddharth, Akash. 91st का बताओ अब. 91st E, B, E. The correct answer is not B, not E, but C, which is 135 days. ठीक है. So 135 days shall be substituted by 118 sub-regulation 8 of regulation 16. ठीक है. As per the penalty terms for delayed contributions under Atal Pension Yojana, what is the specific penalty charge for monthly contributions of 1001 or more? 1, 2, 5, 10, 1% of the overdue amount. Penalty charge for monthly contributions of 1001 crore. 1001 or more. 92nd A, B, E. The correct answer is not A, not B, not E, but D. Rupees 10 for monthly contributions of rupees 1001 and more. Please revise these schemes. है ना? ये वाली schemes are very important. Flagship schemes. As per the Economic Survey 24-25, what percentage of India's gross value added was contributed by the services sector in financial year 25? Highlighting its continued importance as the primary economic driver. 45.6%, 50.6%, 55%, 62%, 65.3%. Ninety-third C, absolutely correct. 55%. 94th question, the Securities and Exchange Board of India has notified new prudential norms for derivatives on the Nifty Bank Index, mandating a broader and more balanced composition in October 2025. Under the new prudential norms, the index must include a minimum of dash constituents up from the current dash 1614, 1412, 1214, 1812, 1410. देखो, they are saying up from the current. That means यहाँ पे there's going to be ज़्यादा वाली term, यहाँ पे there's going to be less term. You can eliminate those items where जहाँ पे यहाँ पे there's less term. So for example 1614 eliminate, है ना, 1812 eliminate, 1410 eliminate, है ना, 1412 eliminate. तो आंसर आपका क्या आ गया? D दिया है यहाँ पे आंसर 1412. हाँ, up from current, sorry उल्टा आई एम सेइंग, है ना, opposite. Up from the current में यानी कि यहाँ पे will be the less amount, यहाँ पे is going to be the greater amount, है ना. लॉजिक नहीं है मेरी बात का यहाँ पे, है ना. तो चलो, your answer, what all have you given? 94th E, the correct answer is B. ठीक है. 14 and 12. ठीक है. तो पहले 12 थी, अभी currently 12, उसको हमने बढ़ा के 14 कर. ओके. 95th question. A newly registered TechFin entity incorporated as a company in IFSC receives in principle approval from the authority on October 1, 2025. What is the mandatory maximum period within which the applicant must take necessary steps to comply with the regulations and the conditions of approval, assuming no extension is sought? 30 days from the date of in principle approval, 90 days from the date of in principle approval, 180 days from the date of in principle approval, 12 months from the date of in principle approval, until the authority is satisfied that the applicant has fulfilled the conditions. 95 B, the correct answer is C. 180 days from the date of in principle approval. ठीक है, 180 days है, आप सबका गलत है. C is the correct answer. Akash has given me the correct answer. 96th question. Which legal forms are permitted for a capital market intermediary seeking registration to operate in an IFSC? Sole proprietorship or public trust only? Company, LLP or statutory corporation only? Company, LLP, body corporate or a branch thereof? Only a company incorporated in IFSC? Partnership firm, public trust or a company? D, C. The correct answer is C. Company, LLP, body corporate or a branch thereof. ठीक है. 97th question. Which of the following statements best describes the concept of the time value of money in financial decision making? Time value of money implies that the value of money remains constant over time and it is irrelevant whether it is received now or in the future. Time value of money suggests that a sum of money today is worth more than the same amount in the future due to its potential earning capacity. Time value of money indicates that the future value of a cash flow is always less than its present value due to taxation. TVM means that the value of future cash flows is not influenced by the interest rate or inflation. Time value of money implies that the future value of money is determined solely by historical rates of inflation. All of you are saying B, which is absolutely correct. It suggests that sum of money today is worth more than the same amount in the future due to its potential earning capacity. 98th question. Which of the following is cited as a significant disadvantage of annuity plans when compared to investment instruments like senior citizen savings scheme? High rate of return, no access to capital, provides inflation protection, uses simple interest, allows premature withdrawals. 98th question. Disadvantage of annuity plans when we compare it to senior citizen savings scheme. 98B, the correct answer is D, uses simple interest. This senior citizen savings scheme may we use simple interest. Okay, that is an advantage which is a disadvantage in case of annuity plan. Okay, so the annuity plans use simple interest, whereas instruments like senior citizen saving schemes they use compound. Sorry, हाँ. तो ये जो senior citizen saving scheme है, they use compound interest है ना. Compound interest में they get more money, compounded हो जाता है वो, and simple interest पे मिलता है annuity वाले case. In the context of Section 4 of IRDAI Act, the tenure of the chairman will be dash years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, or 7 years, provided that no person shall hold office as chairman after he has attained the age of 60 years, 65 years, 62 years, or 52 years. 99D, which is absolutely correct. 5 years and 65 years. Last question for your marathon session. According to the guidelines on ways and means advances, what happens if the ways and means advances exceeds 90 days, and how does the interest rate on such an advance compare to the repo rate? It is treated as a long-term loan with no additional interest rate. It is converted into a term deposit with a penalty interest rate. It is treated as an overdraft with an interest rate of 2 percentage points higher than the repo rate. It is automatically forgiven by the central bank without any additional charge. It is converted into a government bond with interest rates determined by the bond market. 100 CC, which is absolutely correct. It is treated as an overdraft with an interest rate of 2 percentage points higher than the repo rate. So that is all from my side, everyone. This is your marathon session is complete now. Okay, I hope this session was beneficial for all of you. Just revise whatever is left, and I would just want to wish all of you best of luck, all the best to each one of you who is appearing for the examination. I believe in you, and I'm sure you're going to do very, very well. Okay, do let me know, text me on Telegram. I hope you know my Telegram handle. For those who don't, you can connect with me. Mannat Educator is my Telegram handle. You can connect with me over here, right? And let me know how your exam would go, and wish you best of luck. Have a good day and keep practicing, and keep revising, and I'm sure that you are going to do great. All of you have practiced a lot, all of you have done a lot of hard work, and all of it is going to be paid off. Okay, so let's meet up in the next session whenever we are going to have a next session. Till then, wish you all the best, take care, and bye bye.